And welcome to Social Outcasts, episode 14. I am your host, Marsh, and these are my co-hosts,
The radical,
Henchman 1 and Henchman 2.
the radical machine. I am not a henchman.
And,
Blitz. I've been on too many of these.
yay, there you go. A little bit of variety. That took way too
Still
long to think.
thinking of.
Oh boy, oh boy. We are live.
Someone's using proper punctuation.
Live on location. I had to tweet that out.
On location being your apartment,
Yeah.
not, the brewery.
No, but that place is amazing. So, story time. Jacob, our fourth wheel, I guess we can call him.
AKA Taco Nader.
Yeah,
Too many names.
yeah. Too many names. There we go. So, he texted us, what, Thursday? Yeah, he texted us on Thursday and said, "Hey guys, check this out. I really need this." And so he sent us a picture of a brewery company, pub actually, that was putting out its famous honey ale, Killer Bee, called Dragon Mead Brewery. So I'm like, that place sounds amazing. I'll go for sure. I had no clue where it was. I thought it was like somewhere up north for whatever reason. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll go, whatever. I'll take a day to go out there and then come back. But no, it was like a few miles away, very close, right on the side of the freeway, actually. And it's like it's just a pub. It's what you would expect from a pub. It's
It's loud.
loud, decent atmosphere. They have live music every Saturday. So I want to go next Saturday when we all go. But their specialty is mead. And this is going on for what, week 3 that we've talked about mead on this show?
Because it's dragon mead.
So
Right.
how is mead then?
Well, do
Did
you
it
want to
make you
talk about
feel a
yours
lot
first?
warmer and a lot happier?
Oh, yes, it does.
I think it depends on how it's flavored. Because I didn't like Marshall's, but I liked mine.
So, Chrissy had the wild berry? No, the very berry. The very berry mead, which has like a bunch of berries in it, and stuff. Very red, very sweet, but really, really good. So I liked hers a lot. And what I got was Vladimir Shitovkin.
Shitting off.
Shitinoff. There we go. And in its description, it was a nice blend of cinnamon and spices to taste just like Christmas. Well, Christmas tastes like shit. Go figure, having shit in your name. So, but no, mine was decent. It had a bit more of a kick, like right at the end of the drink and whatnot. But hers was a lot sweeter, a lot smoother, easier to go down.
Bottom of the bottle is usually the most bitter. Usually the stuff settles.
Well, I mean, not even that. Like when you just take a sip, it's like,
Oh, okay. It's got the late bite.
yeah, it's
Okay.
a late bite.
And we
So,
got it in a wine glass.
Yeah, because if you ever had any IPAs, when you get to the bottom of the bottle, that's when it starts to get real.
Oh.
The bitterness starts to really get to you.
I've heard that a lot.
As much as I love IPAs and other really, really dark, really hoppy, really bitter beers, as much as I enjoy them, I still shiver when I get to the end of it. I'll just take a sip and I'll be like, whew, whew, okay. But it's good though.
But yeah,
It's
no, it's the one that I had, the cinnamon one. It had a very nice blend of spices and sweetness when you start taking the sip. But as it lingers in your mouth, that cinnamon comes up, and it's like, oh man, whew, that really had a nice kick to it. And holy shit, their pub cheese bread is godlike. So when we go next week, we
So
gotta
it's
get
one
that.
kill away from being legendary.
No, it's pretty legendary. It's super good. It's got like 5 different cheeses on it with garlic butter on a pretzel bread.
I want to ask if they only put.
If it's too much garlic, I probably won't like it.
I
If
actually
it's
didn't taste a whole lot of garlic.
all right, that's good because I've had stuff where it's just like overloaded with garlic, and I can't, just
Oh
can't eat
yeah,
it.
you would hate her spaghetti then, because I swear to God she was trying to kill a
I
vampire.
like garlic. Sorry, I like
You
spicy.
just you just put the whole clove in there.
Not even a clove. It's like garlic powder.
It's minced garlic.
Oh,
It's minced garlic. Sorry, but yeah, no.
who knows what that powder
Can't
really is,
handle
though.
anything hotter than buffalo, but I like black pepper.
It was just funny because like I decided to cook it and make it for her and her mother. I had already eaten. I didn't even know that dinner was happening. So I'm like, oh, you should have said something. I wouldn't have eaten. I would have eaten along with you.
So
So
you skipped out on dinner tonight to
no,
go
no,
to
no, no,
the
no.
pub?
This was the last week.
You need to give some context, man.
Sorry, but oh no, we're having frickin' Little Caesars right now.
Pizza.
Cause
Oh, before we go say something else, when we were there, I wanted to order the Irish car bomb.
but yeah, see,
That does not sound politically correct.
Oh,
no, no, it's not. It's not politically correct, but it's
Based on the
really
IRA.
good. It's really good.
Well, I'm having some George Killian's Irish Red right now. I still have that big box of beers that you bought for me.
Wow.
I'm working on them. I can't drink it every day though. My stomach's gotta heal, you know,
Oh yeah, no.
in
It's
healing
is
stages.
that an ale?
It's Irish Red Ale, I think
Okay.
is what they call it. It's pretty good. It's a little bit
James
more
likes
bitter.
them.
It's a little more bitter than your standard offering of say Budweiser or Coors or whatever, but it's not as intense as an IPA.
Right.
So
I
I
will.
love it.
I will never touch an IPA ever again.
Never.
Never again.
And yet you do all those hard whiskey and all that. You can't go near a IPA though. I guess we're the opposites. See, I won't go anywhere near liquor. I have no interest in drinking any of it. But beer, heck, mead, I'll drink it because I like the quantity over quality when it comes to alcohol. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's got to taste good, but if it goes down smooth, I can forgive it, even if it's not the best taste. Plus, especially if it gives me a brand new cap for my collection, then I don't really care what it tastes like.
Yeah, I don't have any caps for you, even though I bought a growler of Killer V. But
Should that go in the fridge?
no, I already put Killer V in the fridge. Yeah. We literally just got home like 5 minutes before we started the show, so
What about the mead?
mead should be fine.
Oh.
But I mean, if you want to put it in the fridge, go ahead. I don't mind.
When you were there, did you ask him what the gravity of the drink was?
No.
No,
You should have
that
walked in
was-
there and said, "I want a mead with this gravity," and try to sound completely professional and serious, like you're a connoisseur, and try to
See, that's
act
the
like you're all
thing.
classy and everything. And then they would probably say something to you, like really technical brewing terms, and then you would just look
Right.
like a fool.
But no, see, that was the thing. Like, gravity was all on how thick it was? Like, how much thicker than water it was? Was that it?
You got me, man. I don't
Can't
know.
remember.
We
I
gotta
know
look it up.
I know one of them was or that gravity in alcohol. I know fermenting beverage.
That looks like moss.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, relative density compared to water. And normally, like, mead was supposed to be thicker than water. But this one, the ones that we had weren't. Like, every time that I think of mead in, like, any other media that I've seen it in, I've always seen it in, like, more of a honey state. Like a syrup state. Not like just a normal looking liquid. It wasn't very thick, and that's the way I've always seen them, at least for me alone. But yeah, no, it was good. It was a cool atmosphere. You know, obviously never been in a pub like that before, but it was a pretty solid place. Expensive as all hell. So I got a 64-ounce growler for $18, and then a standard bottle of wine sized bottle of their cherry mead for $30. Along with two glasses and the pub bread and the new growler bottle. You know, all in all, we spent like $75 there.
I'm thinking they make the mead because that is an expensive drink.
Yeah, it's a brewery.
It's a brewery. They definitely make their own mead.
That's what they do there.
Sorry.
But yeah, those places are always fun. Like what's the one? Great Baraboo is a microbrewery.
It's a brewery?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You've never noticed those giant drums?
I didn't know what they were for.
Yeah, they're for brewing alcohol. They're awesome.
What did you say to Jacob? Was this the thing on PSN?
Yeah, I think so. So, Matt, we have a new listener in the chat right
I
now.
don't think it's a new listener. He's pretty.
Well, hello there. I don't have the site pulled up right now.
Well, you ain't missing much. Yeah,
tell me who
you
it
know what?
is?
It's YouTube, and we use Terpez's username all the
Oh,
time.
usernames are fair game as long as it's not an actual person's name.
Jake Raptor 501.
Hey!
501st, really? Is that a Star Wars joke?
Jake Raptor.
Yeah, sorry.
Welcome, Jake Raptor. You wouldn't happen to be related to a certain person who goes by the name of Taco Nader, now would you?
Oh my god.
It says he's not new.
Hmm. So, let's bring up an interesting, since we were talking about alcohol, let's transition to the other thing, food. I've got some interesting topics to talk about.
I
Yeah?
thought you wanted to
First of all,
I brought up.
what's that? You want to repeat that? Sorry.
After.
Okay. All right. So, I was thinking about my spending habits, and I came to the conclusion that I'm most irresponsible with my money when it comes to food. Because rather than doing the sensible thing of buying stuff and cooking it myself and saving a lot of money that way, I'll just go to Taco Bell today. I'll just go buy this. Oh, I'll go to Chipotle. Oh, I'll go to get pizza or something. And I realized that I'm spending all this money on food. I mean, I would even buy lunch meat for work and then not even use it because then I end up just buying food near work. So, I mean, it's kind of funny how I've been cheap on basically everything else, but food, I don't really even care. So it's kind of funny when you're like saying, oh, I dropped $75 at the pub That sounds like something that I would do. Although you bought a big bottle to take home with you though, so I
Yeah, I
mean,
bought 2 bottles to take home with me.
yeah. But that's the point I wanted to bring up though. Is I was talking with somebody about food and how everything you think you know, you might not know anything at all. So we were talking about how certain foods are so far beyond their natural state because they've been genetically modified. Corn is an excellent example where corn is just corn's not even corn anymore. It's essentially just hormones and pesticides and genetically modified organism.
Oh
It's
no, are we going down the anti-GMO route?
No, we're not. We're not.
Okay.
But we were just talking about
Cause
that. Apparently, so there's funnier ones. There's funnier things, right?
sure.
Somebody was telling me he doesn't eat soy sauce because he said that it will turn you into a woman. Because apparently the soy, the way they treat it, it's
Pumped full
overloaded
of
with
estrogen.
yes, it's
Oh my god.
overloaded with estrogen or something like that.
Why?
And I mean,
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know the reasoning for it, but you got to look this stuff up. I think the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, you can look up all kinds of things, but I had heard something like that before. I thought they were saying something about that in the water system too, like public water systems. There's an abnormally high amount of estrogen or something like that. I'm like, where did people come up with this stuff? I mean, I guess there's somebody who gets paid to. The water is important. I can see that. Analyzing the water and the food. Okay, I guess that is very important. But it's just funny. So for some people, corn is on the
Hold
blacklist.
up, wait. So
Soy is on the blacklist.
okay,
I
so
love
I
that.
just looked this up, and it says I typed in soy sauce estrogen, and from PCRM as the expert on soy, the physicians committee, it says soy products such as miso soup, tofu, and edamame contain very weak plant estrogens called phytoestrogens that hinder the body's natural estrogen from attaching to cells.
Right.
So it
But
lowers the estrogen.
Is what it
but
sounds like, maybe.
yes, but here's from my understanding though is because again with the genetic modification and pumping it full of hormones and making it grow really large, you're amplifying whatever's inside of that.
Right.
So you're
Oh yeah, I get
consuming
it.
a ton of that
D-
and it's just
So a real quick tangent. The science
yeah.
show that I listened to,
Mhm.
uh, Jacob just posted another fun fact about soy sauce. If you drink an entire bottle, you will die.
The estrogen is not why I don't like soy sauce.
But anyway, the science show that I listened to, Science Faction, which there's a whole nother story there that I'm going to write down so I don't forget. But anyway, they had a guy on who was trying to promote GMOs and whatnot. And he got like really heated when people say like, no, we're not for GMOs.
Doesn't
GMOs
sound like
are
something you should promote.
GMOs are super harmful, blah blah blah. And he's like, no, you dumb motherfucker. GMOs are what's feeding our growing population
Yeah.
on a very fast-paced.
Now, see
planet.
that is true.
Yeah.
If we didn't have farming techniques where we grew ridiculous amounts of food, people would not have anything to eat. In fact, there was a scholar, I believe, in the 18th century. It was something like 1750 or something, and he wrote that within 50 years, the population of the entire world will starve. It was right before the Industrial Revolution, and when farming techniques started to produce big yields. So he was looking at it the old-fashioned way, and he's like, "Yeah, people are going to go extinct. There's not going to be any food. We're all going to starve."
I see
It's
it
kind
in
of funny,
comics too.
and that was like over 250 years ago too.
He was in Harry Potter
Shit.
and Alien.
Yeah, he was. Okay, so breaking news, folks. Apparently about 15 minutes ago or 25, about an hour ago, John Hurt, Alien, Harry Potter, the Elephant Man, blah blah blah, everything. Apparently, he has passed away. Unfortunately,
I'm sure it was more than an hour ago.
he was amazing in V for Vendetta. He was absolutely astounding in it.
Who is he?
He was the Chancellor.
Oh.
So, Chancellor Sutler, I think? Or am I thinking of a completely different movie?
I don't remember most.
Anyway, he was technically the main bad guy, the big bad, and he played Patient Zero in the original Alien movie, and Ollivander, I think,
Yeah.
from Harry Potter. Yeah, that's
Wasn't he the war doctor too?
he was. He was the War Doctor from the Doctor Who special. Yeah, so that's
Oh. Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
he was
Merlin.
he's definitely one of my favorite actors.
He was Merlin's mentor.
Oh yeah, it says so right there. But yeah, he's definitely an amazing actor, and I absolutely loved him in literally everything that I've seen him in. Which, granted, might not be a lot, but from everything that I've seen him in, it's never been like, oh, it's John Hurt. He's kind of playing a crappy role. It's like, no, oh my God, it's John Hurt. That's amazing. You know, he was in what was the one, the train, Snowpiercer.
Oh
He was in
yeah.
Snowpiercer as
Little known movie.
which is starting to pick up in popularity.
Cause it's on Netflix, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it's definitely a twisted movie, but I absolutely loved it.
That very dark movie.
Very, very dark.
Cold and dark.
Yeah. For your cold, dark hearts.
Oh, it says he was a knight too.
Oh yeah, that's right. But yeah, he played a great. I would say.
Great many roles.
I would say, a rebellious leader in Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically like gathered intelligence for people and was like uh, Chris Evans' character would bring him like notes, and it's like, all right, what does this mean? And it's like, oh, it's we gotta go and do this, and it was basically like the second guy to run the train almost,
If,
or it seemed like he knew the most about the train.
if he played a younger character, he could have done, or he could have worked more with Chris Evans and gone on the train longer.
Yeah, but I mean,
Jacob said he's also Hellboy's father,
yep, 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 yep.
which I didn't remember.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah.
What a great, great actor.
Seems like 2017 is turning a lot like 2016.
For celebrities, anyway.
Well, I mean, people pass away every year, though. So it's kind of.
But
It's like this. Someone was talking about it on another show,
no one takes notice of it.
and it's
unless
like,
a celebrity.
yeah, one or two, like every couple of months, you know, you would say like, oh man, they passed away. But when it's like very big name actors happening very rapidly, people, society will basically latch onto that and be like, oh my god, it's so terrible. 2016's the worst, blah, blah, blah. And, you can have so many other issues from 2016 that will also make that list. But unfortunately, the way society works is that it's like, oh, we only care about the celebrities. We don't care about necessarily the more serious stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Like the election.
Death is
Let's not go
serious.
there. This should be a
Yeah.
politics-free show. Otherwise, I might start to go a little crazy.
Oh,
Okay.
very,
Just
very well.
one small political thing. Whatever the
Jacob says your voice is loud.
okay.
My
I'll
voice?
turn him down. Don't worry. I'll take care of it.
Okay,
I'll take care of it.
sorry. I'm very sorry.
So, um, I guess I didn't look into it. I tend to stay away from the political news. I'll see it pop up every once in a while on my Reddit feed or Facebook, whatever. I know he's like desperately trying to go through with the whole building the wall thing. Um,
Mm,
but
that's a little crazy too.
but I guess there was an alternative facts quote that was brought up, and I guess after that statement was released, people started buying more of 1984, and it like shot up the trending list for Amazon's front page,
Oh wow!
which is really funny.
I hated that book. Hated to give her more.
I can't remember enough of it to say whether or not
I'm
I liked
surprised
it
you
or
remember
denied it.
any of it.
I know it was a very insane, crazy government,
Which
which
is it's ironic because Republicans are usually associated with small government. They want the government to back off away, at least from businesses and enterprises. They want the government to back away. And usually the Democrats are the ones seen as wanting the big government so they can push all these changes and they can shove aside conservative ideas. And
oh no, it's
to be,
happening.
to be honest,
But this
both
new
parties
guy.
suck. The whole
We'll just leave it
political
at that. Both
system
parties suck.
is.
We'll just leave it at that. Both parties suck. So, moving
Yeah,
on.
see.
Thought it
So
was
I wasn't
funny.
done with my food topic, by the way.
Yeah, I can't remember how. Oh, yeah, that's right. I went back on Twitter. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so it got even more interesting with the food topic, right?
Yeah.
Because then I started getting into conspiracy theories with food.
Oh God, chemtrails, Illuminati.
I feel like this
No.
would be a good
So,
book
for
topic.
example, apparently there's been some evidence that drinking cow's milk is not very good for you
Yeah, I've
because
heard this.
it's not natural for a person to drink another animal's milk, right? Well, then why did you see all this stuff saying, "Oh yeah, milk's good for your bones. It's good for this," right? Well, the conspiracy theory is it was just a united faction of milk producers who put on a major ad campaign for
Paid
about
off Mr. T.
20 years. Probably got the FDA to endorse it and everything. You remember those got milk
Yeah.
ads?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what we're talking about. So now, 20 years later, all these studies are starting to say, hey, you know what? Maybe drinking milk's not such a good idea.
It sounds
So
like
I think drinking milk should be like in Skyrim. It should be an insult. Like it should be pathetic. You should call somebody if they're a weakling. You should call them a milk drinker because they're weak and they think drinking milk will make them stronger. They're just
yeah.
they're just they're just a bunch of milk
It
drinkers.
sounds like the lead campaign before it was
The other thing too is
illegal.
that I mean some people just can't straight up can't because of lactose intolerance, but Apparently, there's theories that everybody is intolerant and just some people are more than others. I don't know if that's true or not. I wouldn't go so far as to say that.
I
But
would believe it.
the other thing that I think is a conspiracy is I don't think breakfast is really that important. You always heard that as a kid. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Always have breakfast and everything. I'm starting to wonder if that was also a lie manufactured by cereal companies, egg producers, milk producers, orange juice.
That many
Apparently,
industries?
apparently, way back in the day, orange juice was nothing. And then sometime in the 1800s, there was a big movement by fruit producers to make orange juice the breakfast drink so that they could make money. And because
Okay.
nobody up to a certain point nobody drank orange juice for breakfast. It wasn't even a thing. In fact, I think people even drank beer for breakfast.
Oh,
But
yeah.
just and I think if you go to other countries outside the United States, orange juice is not even a thing for breakfast.
The
If
water
you
was
ask for it, they'll be like,
poisonous.
"What? What are you talking about?" But I'm thinking that breakfast isn't really that important, and I think they just wanted to sell a lot of cereal, is what I'm thinking. Especially because they're like, well, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Eat anything, right? Okay, so that means it's okay to eat all those sugar pumped cereals
Okay.
and marshmallow cereal. You see where I'm
Yeah,
going with
no.
this? I'm thinking, and another thing, this is the most extreme. This is where the topic I was having with this person started to lose me a little bit, but it makes me wonder. He was saying that if you, okay, so there is some evidence that fasting is actually good for your health.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I
he
literally
was,
just
he
heard
was,
another show talk about this
he
where
was saying though, he took it to the next level where he said that he heard it can be almost therapeutic if you don't eat at all for a day or two in a row and then eat. And the basic, I don't know the details, but the basic concept was that when you eat, it uses up a lot of energy in your body to digest that food, especially
yeah,
if you eat a lot. If
yeah,
you eat a lot, you're actually using up more energy to digest than you are getting back in.
yeah,
And that energy potentially could be used to do things such as heal wounds, get rid of diseases, build up your immune system. So by eating, you're essentially poisoning yourself and making yourself more vulnerable to viruses and disease. This is the theory, of course. But so
oh
the
my
idea is
god.
that if you go for, say, they recommend if you actually try this, don't overkill it. Just try to go like 18 hours or more without eating and then try to build it up to like 24 hours.
Oh, see
And then
the
so that your body can get used to it. Because otherwise, if you're used to eating a ton all the time and then you just try this, you'll like go into shock. So
yeah.
you can't just straight up say, all right, I'm done eating for
Except
good.
it's not the fasting diet that I heard about. It's not just like no food at all for a day. It's a limited amount, like
Right. Yeah,
500.
that's the more conservative traditional view, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
500 calories less or something. But
No,
these guys were
500 calories a day, and
or less.
it's
Yeah.
every 2 days where it's you are
Okay.
allowed every 2 days. Uh, so if day one eat normal, day two eat normal, day three 500 calories max. Day four back to normal, day five back to normal, six 500 calories, and like um, the guy who does it is a much bigger guy, so he does like 600 calories a day. I think he gave himself like that extra 100.
Like he's taller?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the general idea though is that
jacked up
it's
guy.
not natural for you to eat all the time because naturally you're supposed to be a scavenger looking for food, scrapping for stuff. So you wouldn't have a whole lot to eat, but since, we're intelligent and we stockpile stuff, we can overload on whatever we want. I don't know,
Hello.
but I just thought those are some interesting topics. I wish I could speak more authoritatively on them, but it is what it is. I think the soy thing's hilarious, though. I found that to be the absolute funniest. Oh, there's one other thing, too. They said that if you're into that natural kind of food stuff, look for free range chicken, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Because if it says that it's free to roam chicken, that means they're still feeding it that hormone pumped up food. They're just letting the chicken walk around a little bit. Whereas free range is they go out and they just eat natural grass or whatever. And apparently, mainstream chicken tastes like corn, and corn tastes like hormones and pumped up stuff. But when you actually eat natural chicken, it tastes absolutely nothing like it.
I was not
I've heard
prepared
that
for this show.
I I heard that there was extreme differences between natural tasting chicken and super pumped up hormone fed.
I
You get the idea.
I I was not prepared for this show.
So, how does that make you feel about eating?
About life, you mean? It feels really shitty. It's like, oh yeah,
So
because
that's time to grab your bottle and raise a
Do you think
glass to
that
good
diet
health.
made Jack lose weight?
no, because he just started doing it.
Oh, it doesn't
So
seem like he's that much overweight.
no, he's just a big dude. What was it? Oh yeah, so last weekend, me and Chrissy spent most of the weekend watching Guilty Crown. And that was because okay, small tangent. I'm bringing up Guilty Crown and everything else so we get away from politics and GMOs and all the real
You know
world
there was a
shit.
military
I
clip?
told you not to bring up politics.
Chrissy's trying to
You
talk about military right now. I have my
you
hand over her
you
mouth. I'm gonna
I
go tie her up in the bedroom so she
you
can't
you
talk.
saw when you brought up politics. Within 15 seconds, I was starting the rant.
Yep, yep, yep,
So
yep, yep.
that's why I said
So
let's just
anyway,
stay away.
we we watched Guilty Crown, and I don't care.
You said you were trying to get away from politics.
It's an anime. It's anime bullshit.
Oh.
Do you honestly think that we're gonna go? Oh, hey, we're gonna watch Guilty Crown, the absolutely political fueled show. No, the dude can pull out people's hearts and turn them into swords and gravity guns
I was
and a
talking about
magical
the
camera that just deletes
the
everything.
military curfew. Or-
No one cares.
That's a big part of the show.
No, not really. There was no curfew. If there was,
Well, I meant
it was literally mentioned for like 2 minutes and that was it.
I meant quarantine.
That's not a curfew! Jesus! You start talking, you don't even know what you're talking about.
I meant to
Go
say
to bed, you are
And there
drunk.
goes
Oh,
and
no,
there
I'm
goes our
not.
entire audience.
Oh my god,
Oh,
I
he already left.
fucking hate it.
Thanks for watching our show, guys. We'll see you next week.
He already left anyway.
She's gonna be the death of me.
You're just figuring that out now.
No, I've
With,
known
with all
it,
due
but
respect.
hey, it's live out to the world and internet, so whatever. Anyway, Guilty Crown, fun magical romp of main character gets a superpower that pulls people's essentially souls and hearts out of their bodies and turns them into a physical form. And look at that, he can be a total badass with this one chick because her soul's a giant sword for whatever reason. Anyway, long story short, it's just going through this awesome, amazing show, superpower show, and it's going great. 10 out of 10. Then there's a flashback, and it gets slightly creepy, but then it's explained later on, so it sort of like dips down to like an 8, mainly because the main character, who has amnesia before a certain point in time of his life and doesn't even realize it, uh, flashback to when he was still around with his sister. And then his sister started getting a bit too touchy feely with him and got really weird. But then it's explained later on the virus that the sister had literally drives her insane. Like, they have no moral code, they have no respect for like human life.
Kind of
So,
like your drunk text last night.
right.
What was that?
Oh, I just
She,
went there.
yeah,
I
I
just
know.
went there.
Hardy har. I had a bunch of shots last
Can
night
I
and
see
went
it?
on a rant. No.
Oh.
Anyway, so basically the virus turned her into a psychopathic
Murderer.
thing. No, because, well, actually, yeah, she did murder a lot of people, but,
Wasn't.
uh, she got jealous that her brother wasn't looking at her the way this kid they fished out of the ocean was as a man, and basically set it up so that way he would kill himself with a broken pistol.
How did that work anyway?
It was sabotaged. So she hands him this pistol. Oh, shoot that star up there, start your marksman now. So he goes, pulls the trigger, it backfires, it explodes, and he's shot in the gut. So it's like, whoa,
Oh.
what the hell? So basically, virus turns her into a psychopath and gives her magical powers, whatever. So it's like, oh, great. So that whole creepy older sister coming onto her brother scene was just literal insanity from a virus. Okay, that's acceptable. Still creepy, but acceptable. So then it's going through, and she apparently died or something, and someone's trying to bring her back to life and creates a clone and tries porting her soul into the clone's body so the clone will then regain all of her memories and then basically become the evil witch that was named Mana. But in the long run, that obviously doesn't work. And the evil witch is killed, and the hero, the sacrificial king, basically goes to sacrifice himself to save the whole world from this virus that his sister unleashed. And then the clone goes and is somehow able to sacrifice herself with magical powers and save the kid, save the guy, and then save the rest of the world. And then the guy goes blind. Like, whoa, time out. What? This is such a shit ending. This is terrible. How I would fix Guilty Crown. You have the guy sacrifice himself, save the girl, the clone, which I guess they fell in love, so that was weird, but it was clone own personality thing, whatever. Anyway, so guy sacrifices himself, saves the clone, saves the world, goes down as the martyr king. Girl still alive, literally replace every end scene after the main climax of the show goes over. Instead of having the guy, replace it with the girl. That's it. Have the same events go on. Perfect ending. What they did, it's like, nah, We gotta have the main pro tag alive. You know, have her sacrifice herself for whatever magical ability that she has. No, you screwed it up. So that was slightly disappointing. I mean, when I gave it back to the other Matt, he's like, "That's seriously all the only problem that you had with it." I'm like, "Yeah, it was kind of a shit ending and rather disappointing and aggravating, actually." It's like I would have been completely fine if this guy died, totally fine, wouldn't have cared. And if Inori, the girl, had just lived on, and you literally just put her in every end scene where the guy was, totally fine. But no, they had to go and do whatever mumbo jumbo voodoo black magic they did, and oh, somehow the girl has magic and shit. Whatever. Anime, sometimes you are down. Uh, uh, vi- Excuse me, a very big downfall and disappointment. And that's your own fault. But what isn't a disappointment?
Oh,
Oh, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 was released.
Are you sure that's not a disappointment?
why don't they just make 3 at this point?
Um, that's the next one.
2.8 is,
The final chapter prologue.
yeah, that there's new gameplay.
Not necessarily new gameplay. I would classify it as, if you go through everything, probably about a rough 10-hour experience, depending on how much trouble you have with certain yeah, Chrissy knows I was getting pissed off with it. But I beat the newest one, the 0.2, the fragmentary passage or whatever
I thought
it's
that's
called.
what you were
Sections of the game.
Ham
But
trying to beat today.
no, I was just trying to 100% it.
Oh,
That's what I was trying to do. But they, oh my god. I'm not going to spoil it or anything, but I've watched the movie. I've beaten point 2, the new Aqua story, so I guess mild spoiler there, but if you see the trailer, you know it takes place from Aqua's perspective, and she's in the dark world, the world of darkness or whatever it's called. And so that's where it's taking place and whatnot. And it bridges the gap between Birth by Sleep and the first Kingdom Hearts. But then it sets up like the next bit that's going to happen in Kingdom Hearts 3. And so that bridge is crossed by Dream Drop Distance, the other game that came with it, which is essentially the transition that the characters make into having their powers at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 into what they need to have power-wise in Kingdom Hearts 3, which is the main climax of the story, at least from my point of view. If not, it's, if you cut it up into 3 acts, that's like the end of Act 1 is where they actually get the power. End of Act 2 is where they use it. End of Act 3 is final battle, obviously. And so
right. Big battle.
It probably is going to be, because they dropped some really wicked lore on it. And it's like, holy shit, what? So I was doing the math in my head, and I think, you know what? No, I can't say that because that's a spoiler. See, there's a specific number of a specific something that they needed, and I thought they had all of them, but one of them doesn't count. And I think it's because it's not the same as the others. So, like, the others are all the same, and so that's why they had the newest one introduced at the secret ending of point 2. And good God, I should have played Dream Drop before I played Point 2. Because even though like the chronological order is all jacked up, playing it out of order in the timeline, at the end of Dream Drop, you get a spoiler that happens that is mentioned again in the secret ending of Point 2. And when they did that, I'm like, what? Are you shitting me? You're honestly doing this? And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I know why, Squeenix. I know why you're doing this. I know exactly why. It's because the fans were pissed off from 2. That's why you're going down this plot hole now.
What's wrong? What was wrong with 2?
I can't say it. I cannot say why or what was wrong with 2 or why fans were pissed off, but there's a specific event that happens in Kingdom Hearts 2 that people probably got mad about. They're like, no, why would you go that way? That was so awesome, and you ruined it.
I can't believe you remember it.
Mm-hmm. It's a very major scene and whatnot. But it it's the creator getting pressured by the fan for doing something drastic and very dramatic.
And that's why.
And then the creator going back and basically reversing what they did. And then bringing back that thing for later on. So it's like Squeenix fell into peer pressure.
Is that why he released the remasters?
No.
Oh.
No. It has nothing to do with the remasters. You would have gotten this knowledge whether they remastered it or not. The reason the remasters came out is either, well, 1, money, and 2, they literally said, oh yeah, back in 2001, I think. Yeah, 2001, when Birth by Sleep came out for the PSP, Squeenix said, yeah, we're going to have a Kingdom Hearts game every year until Kingdom Hearts 3. So you got Birth by Sleep.
15 years.
Huh?
It's been 15 years. 15.
No, it's only been 5.
You said 2001.
2011.
Oh.
The 10-year anniversary was Birth by Sleep. 2011. 2012 was 358. 13 was Coded. 14 was Dream Drop.
I think so.
14 was Dream Drop and 1.5.
Yeah.
They were released on the same year. 15 was 2.5. Was there another release? No.
No.
2016 was
2016.
2016 we actually missed. It was no.
It was supposed to be 2.8.
It was supposed to be 2.8, but I think they just said, no, we already released Kingdom Hearts Key for the mobile phones, which...
You're calling it Key? That's funny.
Unchained Key, whatever. Spoiler alert, it actually, honest to God, has a major storyline in it. If you are a Kingdom Hearts fan and you saw, oh, they made a mobile game for Kingdom Hearts, yeah, that's whatever, I ain't gonna touch that. Honest to God, it has a major story arc in it, a major plot line that literally is the beginning of everything.
You just have to go through a bunch of bullshit.
Literally, you have to go through waist-high bullshit, slogging through that crap in order to get to, like, the good stuff. And Squeenix is finally, well, it's not finally, it's actually been going on for the past couple of years now. Squeenix took Kingdom Hearts down the Final Fantasy route, where it's like the first 2/3 of it are like normal for the world. It's like, yeah, if we were in this world setting, this is totally normal. It's totally fine. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, totally fine, totally normal. You start introducing Birth by Sleep, where it introduces origin stories. It introduces why Sora and Riku can wield the Keyblade along with someone else. That's also a spoiler, but if you've played Kingdom Hearts 1, it's been 15 years, 16 years now. If you haven't played Kingdom Hearts 1, you're probably never going to play it. But, spoiler alert, Sora and Riku can both wield the Keyblade. There's a reason for that. Birth by Sleep shows that reason. It shows the reason of a third Keyblade wielder from Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And it also sets up the main antagonist, Organization 13. So Birth by Sleep was like the main big origin story of like this whole saga, which is called the Xehanort Saga. And then Kingdom Hearts Unchained and Kingdom Hearts Unchained back cover goes over like the origin of the origin, which makes no sense. It goes over the origin of a specific Keyblade that you see. It goes over the Book of Prophecies and a whole bunch of other crazy crap that wasn't explained whatsoever in the end of back cover, and I'm super pissed about it because I want to know what's in that box.
What's in the box?
Hashtag Squeenix. What's in the box?
Why did you do a hashtag?
Because of Twitter. I might put that on Twitter. Yeah, I'm going to put that on Twitter.
You didn't have to mention it over the show.
Well, you know what? Yes, you could have just let it go. But you had to know. But all in all, like, so Birth by Sleep is where it started to go like tripping balls. Where it's like, what the fuck is going on? And then Dream Drop shows up. And I got spoiled on one part of it, and I got spoiled on a slightly other part. But I'm still relatively safe because I don't know how certain things happen. Where that's like, good God, what are you guys doing right now? This doesn't make any sense. It's like, Squeenix is going to have to pull some major stuff out their butt to, wrap this all up in a nice little bow
They have plenty of experience with that.
and not piss people off.
They have some recent experience with that.
With pissing people off, yes.
No.
No, yes.
What is wrong with Final Fantasy 15?
The ending is abrupt and depressing. It's an acceptable ending, but at the same time, it's like, really? We're going to end on this note? Shit.
I thought it was a somewhat happy note. You just didn't like the way
Yeah,
it looked.
yeah.
You just thought it was lame.
It was a lame boss fight, even though it was cool as hell.
That.
For a Final Fantasy game, it was a lame boss fight. For a base aesthetic boss fight, holy shit, that was amazing. But for a Squeenix game, it was very dull, very shallow, and pretty much streamlined. There was no like, oh, you gotta veer off the beaten path just a little bit to, put your guard up and dodge this 2-minute cutscene meteor summon. It's like, there was none of that. It was literally just beat the shit out of the bad guy. That's it. Maybe use a potion once, twice. He barely touches you. Super dull for a Final Fantasy game. No grand, massive monster that you normally get. No powerful god.
Like Chaos?
Yeah, Chaos, godlike Sephiroth, Ultimisha, summoning a massive beast.
What was she in?
8.
Oh.
There was no, like... Yeah, there was, like, an overarching... super big, bad, darkness, evil entity. But it wasn't like, oh my god, it's a massive monster that could, like, poke the world and blow it up. Bravely Default, You have to literally fight a dark dragon god whose sole existence is to link all the worlds together, devour them to increase his power to infinity. He doesn't just destroy one world, he destroys all the worlds.
Sounds like another movie.
It's an alternate dimension mind fuck, and it just goes nuts with it. That's a typical Squeenix game. And Kingdom Hearts is starting to fall into that category. Where it's like, you just like pulling your hair out. Like, what are you guys doing? But yeah, so all in all, I love it. I mean, like, it showed the end of point two, I could see was predictable. They obviously set something else up for Kingdom Hearts 3 to explore, and I don't think we're getting that until 2018.
Oh.
So, you won't see Kingdom Hearts 3 until the next New Year, probably. Or even late in winter 2018. Because they're going to take their time on it to make sure that they get it right. And it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a pretty damn good game. And I am super stoked for it because I want to see the end of this Xehanort saga. I want to see what they do with this new intelligence bomb that they dropped. Excuse me, not intelligence, lore bomb that they dropped, where it's like, ho ho, we just introduced some heavy shit, and just you wait, Kingdom Hearts 3 comes around, your mind's gonna be all over your monitor screen. So that's pretty much it. That's all I got. I can tack on another game that I beat though. Point two. Booyah. I haven't 100% it though. And I'm gonna try to, too. Because that would be fun. It would be the first game I ever 100%. It's gonna be hard as shit though. Ugh.
I didn't know you were that into trophy hunting.
This one I am, yes. Because I feel it's the first one that I can actually do 100%. Where it's feasible and not like super insane. But I mean, it's still pretty jacked up. Like the shit that you have to go through to get everything in that. I'm literally 2 trophies away. One of them is you complete the game without using any resets or continues. So basically, you do not die throughout the whole game. That's easy. You you set the game on beginner, which is you deal double damage and you take half damage. And that's super easy, especially for a Kingdom Hearts veteran. You can easily micromanage that around to where you do not get touched or at least killed. But I normally play it on the hardest difficulty that they give me right off the bat, and that was proud for this one.
Why do you think they got rid of critical?
They didn't. You had to unlock it first
How do you do that?
to beat the game.
No.
Yeah.
I understand.
So 1/19. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right?
Chris-
Kingdom Hearts wasn't even around then.
What is that? 1980?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So Chrissy just showed me a picture of a Kingdom Hearts T-shirt large that was released January 1st, 1980.
I think my app is a little wonky.
That looks like a really shitty shirt. It's like a sickly green on a powder blue shirt.
Blue.
It looks bad.
It's like yellow.
Still, it looks bad. Well, you guys have anything else to contribute? Besides Dragon Mead was freaking amazing, and I highly recommend that place.
Oh, come on. We have to drag the show on for some time. Because it's only been an hour.
Well, I was thinking do a somewhat more of a short show for today. Unfortunately, I have work in the morning. So, And Matt's just listening to us ramble on and
Because he doesn't care about anime or Kingdom Hearts.
argue and fight with each other. Nah, he's probably sitting over there playing his guitar. Or just not listening to us.
That's a pretty accurate assessment.
At least
The
we could
former
tell if you
of
were
those,
playing,
anyway.
Your guitar.
Yeah, sorry, you make it really difficult for me to contribute when you speak about something that I have zero knowledge of.
Way to go,
You can't.
Marshall.
You lost me when you said that there was a version 2.8 of a game. I was like, huh? And then I just kind of you
No,
lost me there.
no. It's the
See, exactly. That tells you how much I know about
it's
it.
like Rogue One. So technically, people have been calling Rogue One Star Wars 3.5 because it takes place in between the two and whatnot.
Okay.
So that's what it is. It's like in between the second game and the third game, but yeah. The Kingdom Hearts
Lore.
number timeline is really bad
The names are worse.
because it will literally go 1 1.5 2 2.5 2.8 3. Like, come on. And then in 2.8 there's point 2, which then takes you back before the first Kingdom Hearts. Come on, guys, just stick with normal numbering systems. Ugh.
You're
Anyway,
so
well,
boring.
that's all I got. So, until next time, folks, I'm your host, Marsh.
And I'm Blitz.
Radical Machine.
See you guys